This episode is brought to you by Gazelle, the all-in-one business management software for piano technicians who want to spend less time juggling calendars and more time on themselves and the work they love. Be sure to check out some of Gazelle's newest resources with more than 8 hours of video lessons on learning aural tuning and tuning ergonomics, skills we as technicians use every day. Whether you are growing your skills or your business, Gazelle will help you save time and wow customers. Visit growwithgazelle.com/ProPTN to learn more. I'm McKinley Coda, and you're listening to the ProPTN Podcast, an interview talk show for piano technicians to tune in to what the pros are talking about from across the industry. If you enjoyed today's episode, show us some love by following us on your podcasting platform and leaving us a review. To learn more about us here at the Professional Piano Technicians Network, visit us at proptn.org. Hello and welcome to the show. I'm your host, McKinley Coda, coming to you from the PIPA convention with Bart Elbers, founder of the Kiyoshi Silent Systems. Bart, welcome to the show.
Thank you, McKinley, for having me all the way in Las Vegas.
Absolutely. Can you start us off by telling us about your background in piano and how you came to be where you are today?
We dive deep in it right away.
Get the ball rolling.
Well, I intentionally started first at a younger age when I liked to do trade things and see business and buy something and sell it for a little bit more. So I was doing this. I was buying bankrupt inventories from companies when I was probably like 17, 16 as a little bit of a hobby, which went a bit too far. And one evening I came home at my mom's house a little later at night, and my mom was doing an evening study, psychology, and there was a man she did the study with, and they were having a glass of wine and sharing some ideas how the day was. And I asked him, what are you doing? And he said he had a piano factory and a piano wholesale company. So of course I wasn't never into piano before and didn't know much about it, but I thought it was an interesting instrument. Also, I didn't get piano lessons when I was younger because I was more into working with my hands, fixing things and constructing things. I didn't have my driver's license back then, but I got an invitation to come over to his shop and to see. But it was about 45-minute drive out. So it took me probably like half a year later when I had my driver's license that I thought, interesting. I heard some more things about it and drove over and he showed me what he was doing, and I saw thousands of pianos there, and I was like, wow, what kind of business is this? And I got to hear he sells all over the world. He went to China a lot, which I always found interesting because somehow I was interested in China, what happens there and production. And so long story in short, he offered me a job. So I think probably within the second week I was working there, I went over to Frankfurt to a music messe, it's called. It was the trade show in Germany. Bought a suit and I was standing there and helping him receive customers and talk about pianos and absorbing a lot of information about the market, who was out there, who was doing things.
That's really jumping in the deep end, so to speak.
Yeah, that was like the deep dive, but I guess I'm always interested in what people do and what they're after and what makes them happy in this. So he was really enthusiastic, which made me really enthusiastic. Ended up working there over 10 years. So I grew into the company first, polishing pianos and doing a few technical things, eventually listening to pianos, and we did a lot of refurbished instruments, which were the Yamahas, which were selected for customers abroad, especially for in England or in Germany or in Spain. So eventually I got to know my customers and I got to play more piano and hear more about the sound, about the action. So customers trusted me to select the pianos for them and ship them to England or Spain. So that became a little bit of niche, which I was interested in. It was also the communication between me and the customer that was the piano. So you learn many more things about what they like to have in their shop or what they not like. In England, sometimes some customers like to have a little bit of mellow sound, and
why do you think that is?
Others wanted to have a little bit more brighter, maybe music preference or background. Or
Britpop,
Britpop, maybe. In Asia, I think maybe they like a little bit more attack, a bit sharper. So I worked there, mainly first in the wholesale, and then later we opened up several retail shops around Holland and Belgium, and eventually We had a different way of thinking, so we went apart, and that's how I continued a little bit in the business. So I had different ideas about certain things. So I started with Kiyoshi back then, which is an interactive silent system you can install in upright pianos. The silent system works that you can play with your headphone on a normal piano, so that your piano is silent from the outside, but you hear it through the headphones. But with our system, we make it interactive, so you can hook it up to your iPad or your tablet, also to your MacBook for recordings. But on your iPad, you have all these kind of teaching apps and all these little things which are popping up everywhere. And we made our silent system sort of open source, so you can add any app to it, which makes the piano a bit more interactive. And I think that hopefully a little bit more future to get more piano people around us.
Especially in smaller housing complex or apartment complexes, especially in European cities where they can't fit a grand piano or they don't want to disturb the neighbors, the upright with the silent system.
Yeah, as well. But if you have a busy household and you have 2 children, or one person likes to watch television, the other one, other person wants to practice on the piano, you can just plug it in and put your headphones on, and you are not disturbing anybody, even in the middle of the night if you want to play. So
I believe you designed the Kiyoshi with a team of other people. What inspired you to design it in the first place?
My heart is actually with acoustic pianos. So what I would like to do in a market where acoustic piano sales go down, and back then the digital piano sales went up, to combine it a little bit, to get more people attracted to an interactive way of playing the piano again.
Yeah.
And with these apps and into an acoustic piano, is what I think is sort of a future. If we like it or not, people are using a lot more iPhones and the telephone and the screen.
Yeah.
If you go to an airport, look around you, it is incredible. Everybody is attracted to that screen where all the information comes through.
Yeah.
So let's see if we can make that hook up towards their piano where they can have a little bit more joy.
Yeah.
Still, I prefer to have an acoustic piano because that sound is really touching, that brings emotion, and that it gives you the vibration which goes through your body instead of a digital sound. But if you have one and the other, it's better than one or the other.
Yeah, and for an aftermarket system, it came in a box that was about the same size as the damp chaser systems, and you said installation takes about 2 to 5 hours, is that correct?
2.5 hours averagely. Depends a little bit on the preparation you need to do on the piano. So your piano needs to be regulated, but it also needs to be cleaned out.
Yeah. Which in and of itself is a couple hours.
Takes some time, depending on what kind of piano. If you have a new piano, it goes much faster.
Yeah. So what sets the Kiyoshi apart from other silent systems?
I think the interactive connectivity with all sorts of apps works well. We are not only with a certain dealer or a certain area. We supply to piano technicians, piano stores, of course.
Yeah.
But I feel that every piano technician should have one of the Kiyoshis in their car, because even you can make an upgrade when you're tuning a piano or explain it. And if you have time left, of course, you can install it.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you make another appointment. But it's really an upsell.
And I appreciate knowing that you worked in a dealership, because there was something you said in your class about how a great way to upsell people on the Kiyoshi system is if you have clients with a child, you set them up on an upright that has the system installed with an iPad, and they learn a little song in 15 minutes or something while you're talking to the clients.
Yeah, definitely. If you want to calm down the process in your sales or when people come in, set the children behind a Kiyoshi piano, give them headphones, and they're going to be on their screen, but also on a piano. And you'll see after 15 minutes, these children are so clever. They know how to play a little song.
Yeah.
And if the parents come back after 15 minutes, trust me, those children are very enthusiastic to show their parents what they can already play, which relieves the parents as well that they like to play piano. Not everybody likes a teacher also. I'm older, I'm busy, and when I'm traveling, difficult to make appointments with a teacher. So I like to pop out the iPad and start Scoob or other apps that work with our silent system.
I'm curious as to where your background in design influenced the Kiyoshi design. Did you pick up a lot of that experience from the work you did in the piano field, or were you doing something else before?
In a way, I think what I learned in piano field with different piano brands and different piano manufacturers is that you have the touch, the sound, which is very important. and the responsiveness from your hands to the piano, and that you can get back the sound that you are wanting to hear, the communication between you and the piano. So that must be fluent, and I think that we brought back very well in the Kiyoshi system. So it has a very natural feeling. You see when people are trying it and they got the headphones on, after playing for 7 seconds, they put off the headphones because they want to hear if the piano is still playing or if it's in silence. That's for me a compliment, so it feels to them through the headphone that it is a piano.
It's been really interesting to see how electronic key sounds have developed over the years. How would you describe the sampling and how the sound was developed? I believe it also has 129 different voices or instruments.
Yes, it has 129 different sounds. You get all kinds of things, but we have organs, we have a little brighter piano and honky-tonk piano, but they're also even applauding sounds in different tones we have. So it's a sample that we made together with a French sampling company.
What's the company? Have they done a lot of other projects?
Yeah, they work with the larger companies in higher end sounds. It's called Dream.
So what does the installation process look like, and what experience level or additional tools should a technician have before getting started?
Basically, all the tools a technician has are the ones you need for installing a silent system. Not everybody carries a drill with them. Get a motorized drill. That's usually a bit more easy and faster to install. You need a metal saw that probably you don't take in your bag with you every day as well. So those are a few things. And basically, I would say prefer to do it in a workshop instead of at a home. So if you are able to move the piano, or if you have the piano already in a workshop, that works better than do it elsewhere.
I imagine you would also need background in regulation, or you'd need to feel comfortable with regulation. Key height is set.
The start of your piano must be good, so you must have it cleaned, must be regulated, you're ready to go.
Awesome. So where can technicians find the Kiyoshi systems for sale, and do you expect distribution to expand in the near future?
Yeah, we are quite flexible, so people can go on our website, kiyoshi-systems.com, but also ProPTN has them. We're working all together with piano technicians around the world, so feel free to contact us and we hook you up with anybody you like to work with.
And for listeners at home, I can include that ProPTN link in the show notes for this episode. I see that Kiyoshi sells piano parts as well. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
You saw that on a little hidden feature on our website, I think.
I had to do my homework. I had to.
So we're not openly doing that.
Okay.
But since my background is in acoustic pianos, we also distribute refurbished instruments like Yamaha, but also Steinway.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, with some Steinway restorations, it's difficult to get the right parts with other instruments like an old Blüthner or Bechstein.
Mm-hmm.
So we worked together with a company which we became partner with in making small batches of the parts. So yeah, we sell shanks and whippings and high quality for our own refurbishments in the first place.
Yeah.
But we do it to a small group of people we work with as well.
So that's probably mainly out of Amsterdam or Holland or European area?
As well, we are starting in the USA. So we'll be everywhere, yeah.
Exciting.
The world is quite small these days, so we ship from Holland to America within 2 days, I think already, so it goes quickly.
Okay,
So, yeah.
okay, that's exciting. When could we expect to see those in America?
I think pretty soon.
All right. Are there any other Kiyoshi innovations that you're working on, which you're allowed to tell us about?
Well, we keep developing on the sound. So what we did with our Gen 1 version towards the Generation 2 version is that we changed the whole key rail. The sensors, we changed most of it. Some pianos have a little less space, so we wanted to have more advanced and thinner key rail. Mm-hmm. Another thing we changed was the sound of it and the technology that moves the sound. So we went from a 512 MB to an 8 gigabyte unit, which might sound technical, but it's a huge difference in playability, in the velocity and in the sound. So we keep developing. Another thing we might be doing is getting another sound sample, working together with another piano factory, but that's the future project we have.
Okay, gotcha. Hi there, this is McKinley from the editing room, here to remind you that if you have not already signed up for a ProPTN subscription, you're seriously missing out. Whether you need articles from our Beginner's Corner to help supplement your students' education, or if you're a seasoned tech who wants a refresher on certain specialty skills, ProPTN has got you covered with peer-reviewed editorial content, video demonstrations, and photographed step-by-step instructionals. On top of that, the collection is our online marketplace that is a must for maintaining your tool collection. If you want to try a tuning lever before you buy it, you can check out our rent-a-lever program. If you make and design your own tools, you can sign up to distribute them through the collection. If you're a retiring technician, we can sell your tool collection on consignment. Or you can just go shopping for a whole selection of new and used tools from brands and technicians you trust. So what are you waiting for? Go sign up now and you'll thank me later. Anyways, back to the show. And as of right now, the systems are only for uprights. Do you see a future where you might be able to develop a grand silent system as well?
Yes, our upright system we keep very universal to install on most pianos. 88 key modern pianos. Not a low one with the different actions in it.
Yeah.
But we have developed a grand piano system. But since we are supplying to so many different piano technicians, you do need to have a very good basic knowledge of how a grand piano works to install it. It could harm your piano as well if you don't install it right, and we want to be away from that. With the upright system, we manage very well to make it a very easy kit to install. But we see with a grand piano, it's really a bit harder to install it. So we don't know how we are going to put this on the market and if we are going to put it on the market. Mm-hmm. It's a little smaller niche, and I know in the USA there are more grand pianos sold than in Europe. So we're looking into how to present this the best way with the least amount of problems and questions from technicians.
Yeah, perhaps it'll come with a certification course or something.
Could be, yeah. But we don't have certifications for installing our silent system. We think it's quite
accessible.
Easy and accessible for piano technicians to do it, so we don't want to limit people out. Mm-hmm. And life is about learning things, and sometimes it goes wrong and sometimes it goes well. And we're here to support. We make videos on our YouTube channels.
Great videos.
Very small videos and YouTube shorts to show specifically how to install the mute bar, how to go into the depth of your sensor rail, but also if you have a failure, hey, this happens. What could it be? Sometimes they're really easy things, but we show it on our YouTube channels. Yeah. As a technician, you can be focused in installing it really deeply. So we try to help eliminate those problems.
Yeah, I also thought it was really nice you said that you guys are available for FaceTime help or support, technical support. Yeah, that's great to know as well if you ever get stuck on those.
Sometimes the smallest thing you run into is better to start up the FaceTime or give a quick call, and usually we're available or make an appointment. But usually if you're at the customer's home, we try to call you back right away.
Awesome. So what are some other ways that you might be excited to see the company expand or develop in the future?
Yeah, so Kiyoshi is our silent system company. Kiyoshi is Japanese for silence. So in this company, we focus on the silent systems, but we are now moving into a little bit more piano parts, and the piano wholesale we do quite well as well.
Gotcha. And as somebody who's worked in the industry so long, you must have some really specific insights as to how it's changed over the years. Can you tell us about how you may have seen the industry change for the worse over the years and how you hope to see it change for the better in the future?
Good question. Well, I think 15 years ago, the market changed from acoustic piano more towards digital pianos. That happens with other technology as well. You see people moving more to tablets, to iPhones, to screens. I still feel the heart of a piano and then the instrument is an acoustic instrument, and that's going to attract you to play more piano and to be more creative. So I think once you can connect people more from your digital to an acoustic, or start with an acoustic and install a silent system where you have the both worlds, should make people more enthusiastic. But the world changes, people change. So let's see if we can touch them in the heart again and play acoustic pianos and experience it.
And adapt,
Adapt to it. Yeah. People go to a concert where there's a nice grand piano, people are touched. Emotion moves. So I think if you have somebody who gives a concert on a digital piano, you have that less. So try to get people more into it. We tried with an iPad on a piano. And so you have to constantly try to see a way to trigger people and to make them enthusiastic and bring your enthusiastic into it. We can go back to those old times where you sell 10 pianos a day and it was the good old times. But yeah, these days we have to show 10 people a day how incredible an acoustic piano is and what you can do with it.
Yeah,
So,
yes. Have you played any hybrid pianos that have impressed you?
basically not so much, to be honest. I see these more as digital pianos. Maybe sometimes they have a piano action in it. But yeah, we do the same with the silent system. So
yeah. Mechanically they feel real, but there's no ability to switch from sampling to the real thing. Yeah. So we don't have too many salespeople who have come on the show thus far. So with your experience in piano sales, what do you feel are your top tips or thoughts on how to be a good salesperson versus what are the worst things you can do?
Ooh. Well, I don't see myself as a salesperson, I must say. No, you just have to show the people in your showroom, for example, what you have or what kind of pianos you have, and feel and see the reaction of people, what they like to hear and see if you can get them enthusiastic to play piano and to interact with a piano. I think that is most important, to listen to your customer and take them along the journey in a piano shop and show them little things what you could do with a piano, or maybe show a few piano scales that you know, or some harmony chords that work very well. I think it's all about connecting, and it's connecting with your customer, but also letting your customer connect with your piano.
Yeah.
And if you're very focused on brands, then you must be a really good salesperson to do that, I think. And I'm not that way. I let people buy in.
Yeah. What do you feel is some of the most undervalued knowledge that you've been the most excited about over the years?
So I had the privilege to visit quite a bit of piano factories. And when you hear piano technicians or craftsmen working in those places and you see these kind of things and you feel and smell the passion of how they make incredible instruments, I think that is one of those things. If you absorb that, you get goosebumps and you know how to translate it when a person comes to your store. How it's made, what kind of material they do, which family is or which person is behind the factory, what makes it move. I think that is a very nice value, and I'm very blessed to have that opportunity that I had that.
Yeah.
Today that triggers me every time when I come into a piano workshop, or if I'm at a piano store who has a workshop and you see the background. I think we should show that more on our websites and show that more to the people, because that's really showing how it's made and what takes it to make a piano.
Yeah.
On the outside, they all look pretty much the same. They're all black polished. They got 88 keys. They got 3 pedals. But they all got their own soul in it. Same as people. We all have a nose and a mouth and eyes. And we all have our own soul.
Well said. Yeah. Do you have a favorite trait or feature or process that you've seen in a factory that has been your absolute favorite?
I like to work with my hands and fix things and make things. So I think wood departments are one of my favorites, to see how the wood is made, cured, assembled. Even in Spain, you have an incredible piano bench factory. Makes a lot of piano benches for people around the world, but how they bring all that love and all that knowledge into a piano bench from their wood workshop is also one of those things I think is very important. Undervalued product from a piano. So these things, I love to visit as well.
Yeah, what's the factory?
In Spain, it's called the Hydra model. And they make piano benches for piano factories in Germany, but also for conservatories in the USA or in Japan. And they make really incredibly good piano benches, which I think is like an underrated product. But it's, if you sell a piano for 40 or 50 or 30 or I don't know how much, but a lot of them, they give the bench for free. But I think that is one of those features that you need to have. You need to have a really good, nice piano bench which lasts a long time, is not squeaking or it doesn't fall apart. So details in that, that matters.
Do you have a favorite bench?
Well, they make those hydraulic piano benches, which I think is really good, especially for conservatories, but also they make these beautiful ones you can use at home. So
Are there any specific innovations or designs that you've seen in piano manufacturing that really stick out to you as being particularly genius?
Most traditional things I prefer, more, so I prefer also more traditional cabinets and these things. But yeah, there are piano manufacturers that go outside of the box. Look at Blüthner making their PH models, which is like a design object.
Yeah,
And I think that's a special niche they're touching, which works well for them. And you have a different customer group you're connected with.
Yeah.
That works. I wouldn't put it in my house, but maybe I'm too classical and too...
I was actually just telling somebody about how you can voice up Steinways. And so the first time I was being shown where the lacquer was in our workshop, my colleague said, make sure you grab the clear white lacquer, not the black lacquer, because it will dye the hammers black. And since he said that, I've been thinking, like, I kind of want black hammers. That sounds kind of cool. A Batman piano or something to that effect. Maybe someday.
Yeah, too bad you don't see him so well, but I know. The details are nice. Building a good piano, it takes time, so you need to have patience, and that's why a piano is expensive.
Yeah. Is there some aspect of pianos that you would really love to see designed in the future by somebody?
Well, I think what Bechstein, for example, is doing with their pianos is that they install this sensor rail, what we have in our silent system. They pre-install it in every piano, and I think that's a very clever future way to do, because you have a lot of people who just want to plug it in to any device and use it for recordings, but also for make it connective to iPads or these kind of things.
Yeah.
And I think that's a very clever move. I think that's going into future with your pianos. And of course, piano is traditional, made out of wood.
Yeah.
But adding that kind of thing inside of your piano, you don't see it, but it's very useful. And I think that's very clever because the market is shifting towards those kind of things. So to all piano manufacturers out there, I would say, make your piano interactive.
Awesome. That's a great answer. Well, all good things must come to an end, but the last question I always ask people on the show is, what is your favorite part of the piano industry, and what is your favorite tool, if applicable?
Whew. Well, I'm not using a lot of piano tools.
Yeah.
It would probably only be the Phillips screwdriver I use the most on pianos. Favorite part of piano industry? I think it's meeting people and seeing enthusiastic manufacturers about their product. And I think that is a valuable thing to see. And I would like to recommend, if you have the possibility, go visit a factory where they're still building pianos by hand. And mainly those are in Europe, so would be a good visit.
Yeah. Oh no, I have to go to Europe to see a beautiful factory.
Yeah, definitely. And if you're in Holland or in Amsterdam, let me know. Email me on the Kiyoshi website. More than happy to show you some beautiful tulips and windmills, but most above, maybe our city, Amsterdam.
Sounds good. Beautiful. Well, thank you for joining us, Bart.
Yep, thanks.
Another huge thank you to Gazelle for sponsoring this episode, and to Bart Elbers for sitting down with us at the second annual PIPA convention. If you'd like to try out the Kiyoshi system for yourself, they are available for sale on proptn.org, along with the free step-by-step installation instructions Bart mentioned in the episode. To reach out to Bart or learn more about the systems, you can find him at kiyoshi-systems.com. Until the next episode, stay warm, listeners.